fan of this video, like and subscribe. Enjoy. Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs Shaw is an interesting story to say the least. The director of this film is David Leitch, who is best known for directing John Wick, Deadpool 2, as well as Atomic Blonde, which you could really tell from the fight scenes, which were choreographed amazingly for the most part. I also believe he had a hand in a surprise cameo for the fans. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, returning to the Fast and Furious franchise, plays a superhero, and I did not misspeak. I literally mean superhero Hobbs. He is best known for his roles as The Rock in WWE, which he's gonna always be known as that to me. The TV show Ballers, as well as Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. He is a veteran actor. Unfortunately, he only has one note. Jason Statham plays the yin to the Rock's yang in Shaw. He has returned to the franchise as well, and is best known for his roles in Transporter, Crank, as well as many more. You could really tell he's a martial artist. It's really beautiful when he has a lot of fight scenes. The third wheel in this duo is Hobbs Shaw, played by Vanessa Kirby. She is best known for her roles in The Crown, as well as playing alongside Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible Fallout. She understands how to move very well in her fight scenes. You could really tell she was real smooth, real comfortable with it. Then we come to our main antagonist, Brixton Lore, played by Idris Elba. He has starred in such roles as Luther in films such as Thor and The Dark Tower. He is a seasoned actor as well. He gave a great performance in this. Unfortunately, he just didn't have much material to work with. He must have the same agent as Michael Fassbender, real talk, because such a great actor. He takes such weird films, such weird roles. I don't understand. Now, if you're a fan of physics or the first two Fast and the Furious movies, I would say this movie is definitely not for you. If you just want to see an all-out action movie where the people from Fast and the Furious have turned superheroes somehow, and you just want to turn off your brain for a little bit, then this movie is visually stunning. I would enjoy it from that point. But if you're an old school fan like myself from Fast and the Furious, then this movie just doesn't cut it. Now, the plot of this story is fairly simple. Hobbs and Shaw are forced to work together against Brixton, who's trying to spread a virus that's going to wipe out humanity. The only thing is, Shaw's sister, Haiti, is the one who is the carrier of the virus. So they have to figure out a way to get the virus extracted from her and destroy the virus completely, which obviously Brixton is trying to stop throughout the movie. So it's become apparent that this franchise has basically turned into DC and Marvel. You got Shaw, who's a British Batman. Hobbs, who's basically just playing The Rock. You actually have a cameo, a pretty nice cameo. I liked it. An Agent Locke, who's played by Ryan Reynolds, obviously Deadpool, who's pretty funny. I really liked it. And you have Lore, which is literally the Black Superman. That's what he calls himself. That's what everybody calls him. So this has turned into a superhero franchise. So, if you're expecting something different, this is not the movie for you. What's unfortunate as well is they tried to copy Marvel's sense of humor in this movie. It was way too forced and it missed a lot of the time. There was a moment when Shaw hit a guy with a champagne bottle and it didn't break. He of course has a snarky remark. He drops on the floor and it shatters. I didn't really like it. It's not my type of humor. I didn't find it funny. I didn't even smile. I also thought I would see a lot more humor in the Shaw and Hobbs interactions, but honestly, it just wasn't funny. They're always angry at each other. The witty banter that's supposed to be there, it just doesn't hit home for me. It's basically, I'm angry at you, or we are angry together. Are we angry at each other? Let's be angry. That's their interaction throughout 95% of the movie. Another thing that really stuck out to me, and it was kind of annoying, it was pretty obvious to anyone who would watch this film, is this is basically a love story from The Rock to himself. He tries to make it all about himself. You could just see it through his interactions. I didn't really like that. The Rock has played in some good roles. He's turned into a one-note actor. I feel like every movie I see him in, he's the same person. Literally every single movie. The only thing that changes is his name. He could be so much better than that. I don't know why Hollywood keeps casting him in this type of roles. Maybe that's the only ones he wants to play. but I think he could do a lot better. And I wasn't really feeling it. He really was feeling himself the whole entire movie, and it was really annoying. I could see why Vin Diesel hated The Rock. Like, he just comes across as an asshole. Vin Diesel was part of that franchise since the beginning. He should be the starring role in this, honestly. And he probably gets sick to his stomach seeing this movie if he even saw it. And for me, Shaw personally, he was just okay. If you've seen Transporter, that's who he is in this movie. I like his martial arts. He's really good at choreography. He's not like The Rock, who's just a straight brawler. There's a lot of finesse to his game. So I really liked Shaw from that point of view. But once again, the forced humor. There's not even witty banter between him and Hobbs himself, which is, it's weird. It's like that one guy from Deadpool whose name just escapes me, just making fun of Deadpool's face, and I don't like it. It's boring. It's not creative. I like over the top action as much as the next guy, and this movie took it to a different level because The Rock plays Hobbs, who's supposed to be a human in this. A natural human, not a superhero. He's supposed to be a human, but he does some crazy. They're not stunts; they're all CGI. But he does some crazy stuff in this movie. When he jumps out of a tower to land on different guards, on his way down, going 200 miles an hour, and just breaks through glass with his feet, going 200 miles an hour. This. I can only suspend my belief for so long on that. That is so ridiculous. And I like over the top action. It's fun, but it just takes you out of the movie completely. Now I do like Brixton as the villain. He has some pretty cool one-liners. He's pretty. He's supposed to be the superhuman of the bunch. Somehow he loses in the end, of course. Our heroes overcome. He has this really cool motorcycle it reminds me of RoboCop. It can move, it can shift, it drives itself. It's really cool. He actually ends up throwing it through a bus eventually and lands on the other side perfectly fine, which makes sense for his character. But the other people, that wouldn't make sense for, but they do shit like that anyway. You would also think that maybe the car chasing scenes would be a lot more grounded considering their roots of the franchise. But they're not. I mean, it looks cool. It looks visually stunning. Like I said, if you turn off your brain, you'll enjoy it. But when I saw a McLaren's wheels getting shot up, watching Brixton shoot the wheels, and they're still driving down the road like 150 miles an hour, no problems. The car's not wobbling. A little bit of sparks come out the side, but the car's fine, and they actually escape on shot out wheels. That doesn't make any sense. So I have a favorite scene in this movie. I really liked that. I thought it was hilarious. It worked on all levels. I didn't see it coming. So Hobbs, Shaw, and Haiti, they have to go undercover, go under surveillance radar. They have to, change IDs, get new names, change the way they look, which is really hard for Hobbs because he's so big. Obviously, you could recognize him anywhere. It doesn't matter where you are. So they changed the ID. Shaw is, of course, in charge of that, and Hobbs and Shaw have been beefing this whole movie. So they get to the airport. Shaw and Haiti, they go through no problem. They use their IDs. Of course, Shaw has been trying to lose Hobbs at this point. So Shaw made the ID and his fake name. His fake name was My Cock Small. Hobbs didn't pick up on it until it was too late. The TSA agent said it. He got embarrassed. The ID, of course, didn't work because they were trying to get rid of Hobbs the whole time. So that was a pretty funny bit. They had to search him and things like that. I really liked it. I thought it was hilarious. There was also another really nice cameo in this movie. Kevin Hart appeared in it. He was an undercover agent on the airplane. Hobbs and Shaw were fighting the whole time. They were doing that banter thing where none of the jokes were landing. So Kevin Hart kind of came into that scene and saved that scene a little bit with the humor. I thought it was pretty funny afterwards, after Kevin Hart was introduced. I liked it after that. Now, there was one fight scene that I thought wasn't done too well, and it's probably one of the more popular fight scenes because it's on their trailer. So Hobbs and Shaw are trying to enter a facility at this point, trying to get to the Black Superman, as well as trying to get his sister Haiti back because Haiti was captured um, on purpose, might I say. But either way, Shaw is in a room with 10 plus guys, a small room, and they come at him one by one. I didn't really like that. That doesn't make any sense to me. I would have liked to see a lot more, maybe like 4 or 5 people come at him at once, so that way he could really show off his martial arts skill. So I didn't really like that fight scene. It reminded me of The Last Jedi when Rey and Kylo were in the Red Room and the attackers were kind of coming one by one or purposely missing or not using their weapons. So that's what it reminded me of. So there was a scene in this movie as well where Hobbs and Shaw are getting interrogated, and then the worst cliche happens. I hate this cliche in all of cinema. This is the laziest thing you can do. The bad guy talks too much, giving them a chance to escape. He had them. He was going to kill them. There was no escape from that point. And of course, he talked too much. This is the worst thing in all of cinema, all of film. I cannot stand it when the bad guy does this. This is such lazy writing. You know, such a big budget film. You would think the writers would be excellent, on top of their game. They would come up with something more clever than this. But of course they didn't. And it's terrible. There was also a scene that I found really funny that wasn't supposed to be funny. So Hobbs and Shaw and Haiti, they're trying to escape after the torture scene. And they do some wild stuff where Haiti ends up in like 3 different cars. Haiti and Hobbs, they've been building up a little bit of a relationship to this point. He grabs Haiti, he pulls her in his car, and they look at each other like they're gonna kiss. Mind you, Haiti has a virus that could kill the entire globe in her body, and The Rock looks like he's about to risk it all. It's hilarious. I thought it was the funniest thing ever. And eventually, they end up kissing before they cure her of that virus. So I guess the virus doesn't spread from mouth to mouth. It was hilarious. So at this point in time, not only are heroes becoming superheroes with superhuman feats to their name, they can now travel through time. Haiti has stated that she has about a day left to live, so they need to travel from Moscow to Samoa at this point. Moscow to Samoa usually takes about 2 days to fly because there's plenty of connecting flights in between. So, in the film, they made it in about a couple of hours, which was unbelievable. So not only are these guys superheroes, they're time travelers now. Now that our heroes are in Samoa, you're going to be able to tell clear as day that this is a love story from The Rock to himself. This probably pisses off Vin Diesel unbelievably because The Rock has taken over this franchise. It is that simple. To add this ending to the movie is pretty ridiculous. The Rock plans on fighting with Samoan ancient artifacts, high-tech agents that Brixton has armed up to the teeth. They somehow figure out a way to disable their weapons for 6 minutes. So that means Brixton is not going to have guns available to him for 6 whole minutes. How they did that, I do not know. So the final big-scale battle goes exactly as follows. The guns don't work for Brixton's agents. The Samoans obviously do not need technology because they're using old school ancestry weapons, and they beat the shit out of his agents. So there's a wild chase scene after, involving a military grade helicopter, 5 or 6 cars that link up together like they're transformers. They try and give you a bit of the old school Fast and Furious feel, but they fail because they're using Nas in such a crazy way that Nas is not meant to be used for. I didn't like the scene. It was too over the top, but like I said, as long as you turn off your brain, it looks visually pretty cool. Now we get to our final battle, what we've been building towards this entire movie. Hobbs and Shaw versus Brixton. This fight reminded me of Neo versus Agent Smith in The Matrix. The rain coming down, the slow motion effects. Our characters did learn something in this movie. Hobbs and Shaw learned that they needed to work together in order to take down a superhuman in Brixton, which is kind of funny because honestly, they're all superheroes in the end. The power scaling in this movie is literally all over the place. It was established that Brixton could survive throwing his body through an entire bus. Yet, Hobbs and Shaw physically beat him down, which is a little weird for me, to say the least. I'm a little rougher on this movie because I grew up as a teenager during the first two Fast and the Furious movies, where I was playing Need for Speed Underground, trying to create the cars from the movie, and it hurts me to see where this franchise has gone. It's really sad. Vin Diesel and Paul Walker, they really started a grounded street racing world, and to now see it become Marvel and DC essentially, it's pretty sad. The Rock has taken over this franchise completely. I did enjoy the movie. There were some good parts as long as I turned off my brain and enjoyed the action, just stayed in the moment of the movie. It was hard though because obviously I'm trying to review the movie, and I got to be a little bit more critical, a little bit more analytic than just sitting back enjoying the movie and relaxing. So my rating at the end of the day would be a 3 out of 5. If it didn't have the Fast and Furious Presents part in the title, this movie would have been alright. But since we're in a world where it was established the rules of physics, they were trying to make it a real street racing world in the beginning. And now to see it come to this, I had to knock it for that. Thank you everyone who made it to the end of this video. This is my second video on YouTube, my second movie review, and I really appreciate you guys watching. Please leave comments, criticisms, anything below. Also like and subscribe if you want to hear more content. I plan on producing on a fairly regular basis. If you guys really enjoy it, I thank you all. Peace out.